Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jai Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Over to Ramananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thanks for the wonderful kirtan. We all welcome His Grace Bir Krishna Prabhu. Long time we are going to hear from Bir Krishna Prabhu about Lord Chaitanya's glories. So, dear Bir Krishna Prabhu, can you please start today's session?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji. So in the beginning, I want to pay my obeisances. The founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master. I pay my obeisances to my all Shiksha Gurus. And I pay obeisances to all the senior devotees who are here, and also I pay obeisances to all the devotees by their blessings, so that I can glorify Chaitanya Caritamrta. Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadibhyacha Chavisundaraya, Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadibhyacha Chavisundaraya, Tasmai Maha Premarasa Pradaya, Tasmai Maha Premarasa Pradaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. So I am elated from text 134 to text 140 of Adilila 7th chapter. So text 134. ei mate prati sutre करे न दूषण सुनि चमत्कार हैला सन्यासी रगण ei mate prati sutre करे न दूषण सुनि चमत्कार हैला सन्यासी रगण. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus showed for each and every sutra the defects in Shankaracharya's explanations, all the assembled Mayavadi sannyasis were struck with wonder. So it is mentioned Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found the defects in Shankaracharya's explanations. So we know the jiva, the living entity, has four defects, like imperfect senses, he get illusion, then cheating propensity, then he is bound to commit mistake. But Shankaracharya, he is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. Vaishnavang yatha Sambhu. Then why he did the mistake? So, like we know, the jiva, maximum, when he becomes Brahma, he can have 50 qualities. And Lord Shiva has extra 5 qualities. So those 5 qualities are like he is changeless, he is all cognizant, he is ever fresh, he has external, he has eternal spiritual body, and also he has all mystic perfections. So you see the all qualities of Lord Shiva. So he is not uh, should have the defects. But if you see the nectar of devotion, it is mentioned these qualities, these 5 extra qualities, they are manifested partially in Lord Shiva. But in Lord Vishnu, it is always, these qualities are always with him. Though Vishnu has 5 more qualities than Lord Shiva, we know that he can give the liberation, he can create all the Brahmandas, and even he kills the demons, they get liberation. So like that, Lord Vishnu has 5 extra quality, and Krishna has another 4, that is total 64 qualities. Adilila Madhuri, Guna Madhuri, and Venu Madhuri, like that. So Shankaracharya, he has established 4 dhamas, like Badrinath, then Puri, Rameswaram, then Dwarika. And he said, okay, this is everything you should worship. Hindus, you should worship. You should go to dhamas and worship them. And even the beautiful song he composed, that is Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Mudhamati. The foolish, you chant the name of Govinda. If Lord, if Shankaracharya is telling these things, so how he can say, the Lord does not have a form? He has established the 4 dhamas where Vishnu is worshipped. So definitely, so as per we discussed in previous classes, in the Padma Puran it is mentioned by the Lord's instruction he is spreading the Mayavadas, because people should have so much of intelligence and qualifications to know about Krishna. Because Karmi and Jnani, they cannot understand Krishna. This is actually a transcendental darkness. Understanding Krishna, and one who wants to serve Krishna, actually he has to cross the transcendental darkness. So like the gopis, Krishna and Balaram, when they were gazing the cows and calves when in the afternoon when they're coming back, the gopi, they're waiting for a long time when they can have the darshan of Krishna and Balaram. But when they are coming in front of them, so many cows and calves, they are going. Okay, when they are coming, lot of so many cows and calves, definitely there will be so much of dust. In that dust creates a darkness. But that darkness, the gopis, the darkness creates intense attraction in the heart of gopis to see Krishna. So this is the transcendental darkness. But the Karmi and Jnani, they cannot enter this transcendental darkness. That is why they see the sunshine, they see the Brahmajyoti, they think it is ultimate. They do not want to go inside who is the behind the sunshine. Like the sun is behind the sunshine, like the dust. After the dust will go away, the gopis can see Krishna and Balaram. So the transcendental darkness, the Karmi and Jnani, they cannot enter. Even Mahaprabhu, when he met Rai Ramanand, he was discussing about, and a man was there. He lost his father. So then he was crying. He does not have any money. How he can survive? Then an astrologer came. Why you are crying? Your father is so rich. So like us, our original father is Krishna. He is so rich, but we are crying for the material enjoyment or material things. Similarly, so the astrologer said, your father was very rich and he has kept a treasure. Go and dig. But remember, when you are digging the treasure, you should not dig in the north side. You should not dig in the south side. You should dig in the east side. So that is the
Hare Krishna, not able to hear, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji got hanged.
Hare
Bir
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Audible, Prabhu?
Yeah, now okay, Prabhu. It got hanged in between.
Yes. So
Carry on.
Mahaprabhu, the astrologer, he said, so don't dig in the north, south, west, but you just dig in the east side. So what does it mean? That means, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, in the north side, this astrologer is saying, in north side there are ghosts, and other side there are also snakes. So if you go, there is danger. So that means they are compared like karmakanda, karmi, jnani, and yogi. So by this process, if you want to get the treasure, what is the treasure? The love of Godhead. One cannot get it. So only if one get to the eastern direction means one, if he practice this bhakti, then he get the treasure, that is love of Godhead. So we'll go to the next slok, 135. सकल सन्यासी कहे सुनह श्रीपाद तुमी ही खंडिले अर्थ ए नहे विवाद सकल सन्यासी कहे सुनह श्रीपाद तुमी ही खंडिले अर्थ ए नहे विवाद. Translation. All the Mayavadi sannyasis said, Your Holiness, kindly know from us that we actually have no quarrel with your refutation of these meanings. For you have given a clear understanding of these sutras. That means they are telling, actually, we don't have any quarrel with your reputations. Actually, this shows the Jnanis, they quarrel with each other because they are so much puffed up. Like a story, uh, like a Kshatriya, the king, so they go and win the over others' kingdom, they fight. Similarly, the Pandit who are puffed up, actually they go to different zone locations, and they declare if someone is there, they want to do the debate, scriptural debate with me, you come forward. So like that, they have that attitude. Hmm. So in the Janak Maharaj kingdom, there was a Bandi Pandit, and So there was another Pandit was also there. His name was Kuhat. So one day the Bandi Pandit, he invited Kuhat and told, I want to have the debate on the scripture. Okay. But who will be defeated? He will take the Jala Samadhi. Hmm. So then he defeated Kuhat. Then Kuhat took the Jala Samadhi and he died. You see the intense, the how they can be cruel. Then the Kuhat's son, the Astabakra Muni, he came to know this letter. Then he came and he challenged Bandi Pandit. So Bandi Pandit was ignorant about Astabakra Muni. So then the same condition was there. Then Astabakra Muni defeated Bandi Pandit. So Bandi Pandit was going for Jala Samadhi. But Astabakra Muni, because he was a devotee, so Jnana he has utilized. So the knowledge, even Shankaracharya tells, the knowledge should transfer to wisdom, and the wisdom has to transfer to bhakti. If that is not transformed, then that is useless, that knowledge. So here Astabakra Muni, he forgave Bandi Pandit, then he could realize his mistake. So the Jnanis, they are so cruel, they do not help each other, they like to live alone, and they want to show their supremacy. They don't like to hear Harikatha also. Okay. So, and Bhagavatam says, if we do not hear Harikatha, then our ears, they are just like snake holes. But devotees, they help each other by sadhu sang. Even we have deficiency, the devotee tells, okay, you are creating this problem, you are having such deficiency, please improve. So by that we improve ourselves. But in this material world, we generally, the karmi, jnani, or our relatives, friends, they show so much of love to us. We think that actually they are our, true, they're our true relations or true friends. But if you see, in the morning, if you see your shadow, the shadow is very long. By the noon time, the shadow becomes very small. Similarly, this material world, whatever relatives and the friends, initially they will love you more. But in the passage of time, if you see, that love becomes gradually less and less. So, and just at the noon time, it will become very less, like shadow. But the devotee and Krishna, they are not like that. They, in the beginning, the Guru, they may chastise, like Ramananda Prabhu chastising me very much. Even chastising is very good, though we do not accept, but who accept that, so that is very good. So noon time, so the shadow is very small, but when it gradually it comes to evening, you see the shadow becomes so big. Like devotees, though in the beginning Guru and the sadhus, they chastise us, we see, we understand, okay, they are not loving us, they are just telling something and it is not acceptable. But gradually, when you follow it, at the you can see how much benefit they have given for us. So this is the difference between karmi, jnani, and the devotees. How the devotees help each other. Then 136. Let us go to text 136. आचार्य कल्पित अर्थ यह सब जानी संप्रदाय अनुरोधे तब ताहा मानी आचार्य कल्पित अर्थ यह सब जानी संप्रदाय अनुरोधे तब ताहा मानी. Translation. We know that all this word jugglery springs from the imagination of Shankaracharya, and yet, because we belong to this sect, we accept it although it does not satisfy us. So here they are mentioning their followers. So this is Shankaracharya, out of his own imagination and word jugglery, he has created the Saririka Bhashya. And by hearing, it doesn't, it is not giving any happiness. If the scriptures are misinterpreted, definitely it will not give happiness. That is why Lord Krishna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, he said, Evam parampara praptam emam rajasya vidu sakayan iha yoga nasta parantap. So, though Lord gives the true knowledge, but by course of time it is lost by this misinterpretation. Then his true representative, he himself or his true representative, like Prabhupada, they come to this material world and they establish the real knowledge. And and why Lord has created all the scriptures? Maya mugdha jiber nahi swata Krishna jnana jivera kripaye kaila Krishna Veda Purana Maya Mugdha Jivera Nahi Swata Krishna Jnana Jivera Kripaye Kaila Krishna Veda Purana. So this living entity, since time immemorial, he is engaged in sense gratification. Maya Mugdha Jiva. So he does not have the knowledge about Krishna. So to show the mercy, Lord has created all these. Uh, Hare Krishna. So, Lord has created all the Vedas and Puranas to proclaim the fallen soul, and the scriptures are like the boat, and the captain is Guru. So unless we follow the scripture and we accept a Guru, then we cannot understand the scripture. And also the even if a boat is there and scripture is there, sometimes the favorable wind is required. That is Lord's mercy. But that Lord's mercy will come when we will follow the, uh, the Guru's instructions. So if we use our own and mind intelligence and interpret the scripture, we will not get happiness. Sarvasya chahang hridi sanivesta mata smriti jnana apanamsa. So if someone wants to know about Krishna and to know, then Lord will help him. If someone wants to forget him, go away from him, then Krishna also will help him. Mata smriti jnana apohanas. So someone wants to go away from Krishna, so that also Krishna sanctions it. So if we forget Krishna, then there will be no happiness. Actual happiness is when we hear about Krishna, the words of Krishna. Like in the Rasalila, when Krishna disappeared, so the gopis, they are singing, Tava katha mrutang tapta jivanam kavi bhiriditam kalmasa apaham Sravana mangalam srimadadatang bhuvi sunanti te bhuri dajana tava katha amrutam. Whenever Lord Krishna tells or we hear about Lord Krishna, that is just like nectar. Tapta jivanam, one who is hmm, in this material world, they are suffering out of misery, uh, out of the three taf, Adidevik, Adibhutik, Adatmik, like that. So, to those people, when they hear the Harikatha, that they get also satisfaction. Kavi Viriditam Kalmasapam. By hearing that, all the anarthas, kalmas, that will go away. And this is Sravana Mangalam. This is the only by Harikatha, hearing Harikatha is only auspicious for all of us, for everyone. And Bhubi Sunanti Te Bhurita Jana. And those not only hearing, after hearing, if someone is glorifying, And that glorification, that is the most benevolent work in this world. So not like opening hospital, school, that is good, but the most benevolent work is one who is glorifying about the Lord. So that is why this Mayavadis, they are telling they are not getting satisfaction because they are away from Krishna. So how they will get happiness? Let us go to 137. मुख्यार्थ व्याख्याय कर देखी तुम्हार बल मुख्यार्थे लगाल प्रभु सूत्र सकल मुख्यार्थ व्याख्याय कर देखी तुम्हार बल मुख्यार्थे लगाल प्रभु सूत्र सकल. Translation. Now let us see the Mayavadi sannyasis continued how well you can describe the sutras in terms of their direct meaning. Hearing this, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his direct explanation of the Vedanta Sutra. So the moment the Mayavadi surrendered to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started giving direct explanation. So the surrenderness is important. Without surrenderness to Guru or Krishna, we cannot get real knowledge. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Arjuna, that in dialogues. So Arjuna is asking something, Krishna is telling something, but Krishna is not giving direct answer. The moment he surrendered, Arjuna, कार्पण्य दशो भवत स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म समूढ़ चेता यस्य यस्या निश्चितां ब्रूहितां शिष्यते हम साधिमं त्वां प्रपन्नम. So now I am surrendering, Lord. When Arjuna surrender, then Krishna is telling the all the knowledge. So Lord will reveal when we surrender, and the extent of reveal, the Lord will reveal as per the extent of our surrenderness. Yo yathamam prapadyante tangsa tathaiva bhajami aham. According to one's surrenderness, the Lord accordingly he will reciprocate. So here is one story about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is in Odisha, there is Baleswar where Kshirochara Gopinath is there. So when we go from Bhubaneswar towards Kolkata, Baleswar, next Jaleswar, then another station is there, Dantun. It is a very small station. Generally, express train does not stop there. In Dantun, there is a temple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nitai Gaur. So one pujari, very good devotee, he was worshipping every day. So one day in the Dantun, there was a film hall, and Jayadav film was there. And Jayadav film, so he, the devotee, he knows Jayadav is such a great devotee, so he wanted to see the film. So in the evening, before Sayanarati, he came and he made the Lord Nitai Guru, sleeping position. Then he covered, it was winter time, he covered with a shawl. Then he went to see the film. Okay. So when he went, you see, Namo Mahabhadarnyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gauratase Nama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahabhadarnya. So Mahaprabhu also likes Gita Govinda too much. So he went, Mahaprabhu also went to see the film. It may be happened at maybe 20-30 years back. So he went, Mahaprabhu went to the film. So after the film finished, Mahaprabhu came and in the temple as usual. So next day when the pujari came, he saw Mahaprabhu is there, but his sal is not there. He covered the sal, the chadar, sal, it is not there. Then he was surprised. Then he was thinking so much, he was, disturbed. Then Mahaprabhu told him, actually, you went to the film. I also went to the film. I went in that. I sat on that seat number. You go and check. You bring that sir. Then he went there. He asked the film hall owner. Then all laughed at him. But he told, okay, you at least you check in that seat. When they checked, they found this sir. So then the film hall owner, he gave a feast to Vaishnavas, and from that day, that seat he had made it vacant. So no one is sitting in that seat. So this was Haldar Swami, His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj was speaking, and I was hearing from this class. So I was referring from that. So so this direct explanation Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. So the Jnanis, they are always bewildered. So they cannot follow the bhakti. So once His Holiness Radha Govinda Swami Maharaj, he went to Western countries for preaching. While coming back, he was coming through Dubai. So in Dubai, the connecting flight was having problems. So there was a delay about 10-12 hours. And Maharaj, he was sitting one place for 10 hours continuously, one place. He did not go anywhere, and he was chanting. Okay. Then the airport officer, he came. He saw this man for 10 hours. He did not eat anything. He did not go anywhere, and he is doing something like he could understand. He is chanting. Then he came to him, and he said, why you are sitting here? Sometimes the sun is coming, so better uh, you come to my room." Maharaj told, "No, no, I am okay here." So then the airport officer asked, "So you are Hindu?" Huh? "Yes." "So I heard in Hindus you worship the forms uh, of Almighty." "Yes, yes." "So why you worship Lord? The Almighty has a form?" Then Maharaj said, "So I saw you 2 times. You went there. Probably you are going for namaz or something. Then you are going there and you are doing something. You're asking Almighty, yes or no?" He told, "Yes." "If you are asking something, definitely He has ear to hear." "Yes," he told. "Then if you are going or not going, if you don't go also, some people not go. Why it is must you are going?" "No, the Almighty will see." "That means He has eyes. So if He has ears, He has eyes, then He has a face, then He has a body. So that means the Almighty has a form." So he was very much convinced. Then he told, "You come, you sit in my office, and whenever you come in this way, just please meet me." So actually, all these Gandhis and others who are not believing in forms, when they come in contact with the pure devotees, they will also change. Okay. So next sloka 138. बृहद वस्तु ब्रह्म कहि श्री भगवान सदा विदिश्रय पुण्य पर तत्वधाम बृहद वस्तु ब्रह्म कहि श्री भगवान षड विदेश्रय पुण्य पर तत्वधाम. Translation: Brahman, who is greater than the greatest, is the supreme personality of the Godhead. He is full in 6 opulences, and therefore he is the reservoir of ultimate truth and absolute knowledge. So no one has the 6 opulences unparalleled, means limitless. What are the 6 opulences? The knowledge, strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. The knowledge, you can see how the Lord, in his incarnation, Vyasadeva, he has given all the knowledge, Vedas, Vedantas, Puranas. So strength also, so it's not the strength by yogi, by doing some yoga, he got some, strength. So when Krishna took birth, after a few days he killed Putana. When he was 3 months, he killed Shakatasura. And 7 years he could lift the Govardhan hill in the little finger. So that is his strength. And his fame, no one can uh, cross. No one is more famous than him. And renunciation, no one can be more renunciate than him. Lord Ramchandra, when he heard my father had given some words to Kakeyi, and Kakeyi told, Mata Kakeyi told he should go to Banvas forest he should go in exile. Then immediately Lord Ramchandra became ready. And the Savak Bhagavan, the Lakshman, he is also Bhagavan, and he also becomes ready. So that is renunciation. Otherwise, no one can be like that. Even Mahaprabhu, so his father is not there. He has passed away. His brother already took sannyas. Mother is old, and young wife is there. But for the benefit of all the people, to give the prema, he took the sannyas. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gauretasai Nama. So then beauty, so his beauty surpassed everything. Even it enchants the Cupid also. That is why his name is called Madan Mohan. So Madan ko bhi wo mohit karte hain. So his beauty is like all the lotus flower. Like the lotus flower is very beautiful. But in this material world, what is the lotus flower beauty? In the spiritual world, the beauty is much, 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 much more. Because when the Lord is coming, the devatas are coming also with them. Devata is telling there is not good, flowers, then the plants. So even the banana, mango, tulsi, all everything came with the Lord. Actually, they do not belong to this material world. And Lord's every part is just like lotus flower. Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namo Pankajamaline, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajang Praye. So his feet is like lotus flower. His navel is like lotus. His palms are like lotus flowers. His face is like lotus flower. And his eyes, Kamal Lochan, his eyes are like lotus flower. So his beauty surpassed everything. And similarly, our Gaurachandra also, moon is very, once we get the moon sign, we get very calmness. It attracts. Similarly, Gaurachandra, that is called Gaurachandra. He had 24 moons. In his nails, in the finger, there are 10 moons. In the leg, nails 10, 20. Then his forehead is also moon. His two cheeks also moon, and also his face is moon. So total 24. So that is why when Gaurachandra came, took birth, there was a lunar eclipse. Mm. So Chandra itself become, he felt shame to come in front of Gaurachandra. So Karmi and Jnani is opulence. They get some opulence because if some Karmi they work hard, they get opulence. Similarly, Jnanis. But the devotees, by devotion, he gets more opulence than that. The example is Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, in 6 months, he could see Lord Vishnu. Though he was not, after seeing Lord Vishnu, he was telling, I was seeking some, broken glass. Now I have got diamond. So he was not interested to come back to this, to his kingdom. But Lord, uh, he has told, no, you go and you rule the kingdom for 36,000 years, then you come back to me. Because Lord wants to prove my devotee is not like a poor fellows. Even if we do the devotional service, we do not become poor. We are very rich. So by Lord's mercy. So this is the teaching Lord is giving. And Prabhupada and Dhruva Maharaj, After 36,000, then the the plane from spiritual world came and he went, and Dhruvalok Lord created, and all the planetary systems, they are moving around the Dhruva planets, that is pole star, and that Dhruva planet actually is the time factor of this material world. So the material world will be destroyed as per Dhruva Maharaj's wish. Hare Krishna. Next we will go to 139. स्वरूप ऐश्वर्य तनार नाही माया गंध सकल वेदर हय भगवान से संबंध स्वरूप ऐश्वर्य तनार नाही माया गंध सकल वेदर हय भगवान से संबंध. Translation by His Grace, by His Holiness Srila Prabhupada. In his original form, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full with transcendental opulences, which are free from contamination of this material world. It is to be understood that in all Vedic literature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal. So, Vedescha Sarve Aham Eva Ved. In all Vedas, I am to be known. So, the ultimate goal of reading all Vedas to know Lord Krishna. So, here it is mentioned transcendental opulences. So, the Jiva is also transcendental, but he has forgot Krishna. That is why in this material world he is suffering. Even if he is suffering, he is not understanding. Krishna bhuli sei jiva anadi bahirmukha atayava maya tara diye sangsara dukha. Krishna bhuli sei jiva anadi bahirmukha atayava maya tara diye sangsara dukha. So when we forget Krishna and when we turn our face away from Krishna, then Maya gives the dukkha, the suffering. The Krishna is the supreme destination. Vedesha Sarvir Aham Eva Ved. Even Lord, if He is in front of us, we ask material things. Even not only we, even the demigods also. If you see, when Lord Vamanadeva appeared, so King Indra is asking, please bring the kingdom back from the valley. So he should have, Lord is there, he should have asked the lotus feet, please give me the shelter of the lotus feet. But instead of that, he is asking, please give me my kingdom back. So Vamanadev, he went to Bali, you know the story. So in 2 steps, he took the 3 worlds. So after taking the 3 worlds, he bound him with Varun first. Then all become very compassionate. Even Lord Brahma become compassionate. So everything he took away. After that also he is dying Bali. He has given everything. Where he will go? There is no place for him to go. So Lord is dying, so he will forgive. He will go away. So this is special mercy of the Lord. So this Lord does not give this mercy to everyone. Why he is binding? Because still he did not surrender himself. Then Bali Maharaj told, okay, you keep your third step on my head. So this is Atma Nivedan, surrendering himself. That is why Bali Maharaj is the greatest devotee in Atma Nivedan. So even we see in this material world, if you ask money, people will give some. They are also called devotee. That is not, that is good also. But they cannot engage themselves in direct service of the Lord, direct seva. So direct seva, even hearing Hari Katha, Chaitanya Charitamrta, that is also seva. Glorifying Chaitanya Charitamrta, that is also seva. Or deity worship, that is also seva. So seva, we should engage ourselves in seva. So that is more important. So the last sloka will go, and by that way we will get opulence. And what opulence Bali Maharaj got? He got the Sutalok, and Sutalok is more opulent than the Indraloka. And Lord himself, he is guarding. He is he is he is acting like a watchman. If you see how Vadanya, he is watching, he is being a watchman in front of his gate. So Ravan, when he came, Lord kicked him. So he uh, fell down for a long distance. So Lord protects everything. So one who has surrendered. So 140. तनार निर्विशेष कही चित्त शक्ति ना मानी अर्ध स्वरूप ना मानिले पुण्यत है हानि तनार निर्विशेष कही चित्त शक्ति ना मानी अर्ध स्वरूप ना मानिले पुण्यता है ना है हानि. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When we speak of the Supreme as impersonal, we deny his spiritual potencies. Logically, if we accept half of the truth, we cannot understand the whole. So, we should understand the Lord full. So, Lord has many potencies. In the spiritual world, the potencies are Sahit, Sambit, and Aladdin. So in this material world also, his potency, through his potency, everything is working. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. By my fragmental parts, this material world is created. Okay. And Maya adikshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So by his energy, everything, even this material world is working. So Lord has innumerable expansion and incarnations. So even if all the expansions and incarnations have come from the Lord, still Lord is full with same potency. There is no decrease in potency. Om Punnam Ada Punnamidam Punnat Punnam Udachyate Punnasya Punnam Adaya Punnasya Ivavasisyate. So Lord is Punnam. So like in this material world, when we 1 minus 1, we tell it 0. But in this spiritual world, 1 minus 1 is also 1. So even if there are innumerable expansions and incarnations has come from Lord Krishna, so Lord is still Punnam. He is full with same potency. And Lord can be realized in 3 stages. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabdati. And Bhagavatam says. So but Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, it is mentioned in slok, it is half realization. The full realization is Bhagavan realization. So the Jnani, the Brahman realization, they get the Sat, the eternity. And the Paramatma, the Yogi, that realization is Chit, knowledge. But Sat, Chit and Anand, that is only one can get, and the devotee can get. Only devotee can get. So that is the full realization. So who can realize this? The Lord's potency and Lord himself. Only Bhagavad Gita also says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlavam. So those inquisitive souls, those who are in search of knowledge, life after life, after so many lives, then they come to understanding that Vasudeva is Sarvamiti. He is the end of everything. But such soul is very rare. So this is 140 sloka, and Chaitanya Charitamrta glorification, it is not easy. So I am not capable to, I have no quality also to glorify Chaitanya Charitamrta, because it is Lord's mind. Who can understand Lord's mind? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, only Swarup Damodar Swami and Ramananda Rai, they could understand Lord's mind. When he was full in pangs of separation, in Radha Rani's mood, so no one was able to understand this. Only Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, when so much of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes he was, bleeding, like his body was like, deforming body, he was like becoming like that. But only some sloka, some particular sloka, some they, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, they were glorifying. By hearing that, he was getting happiness. So that is why Chaitanya Charitamrita is the Lord's mind. It is very difficult to understand. So same Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu, when Devadasi was singing the Gita Govinda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was rushing. He was so much fond of Gita Govinda, he was rushing towards the Devadasi. But Govinda, he ran and stopped Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, she is Devadasi. You cannot tell me you are sannyasi. Then Mahaprabhu told Govinda, you saved me. Otherwise, I could have ended my life today. So, same Mahaprabhu, when near the Garuda Stamba inside the Jagannath temple, he was taking the darshan of Jagannath. One tribal woman, she stood above Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all his associates, they tell him, oh, don't step on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were shouting, but Mahaprabhu told, let him see Jagannath very peacefully. You see, there he was telling, you saved me, I could have ended my life. Here he is telling, same woman, he is telling, let her see Jagannath very peacefully. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mind. So it is very difficult to understand. Sruyatam nityam giyatam chintatam bhakti Chaitanya Charitamritam. So we should hear Chaitanya Charitamrita every day. Hare Krishna. With this I end my class. Over to Ramananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks for the wonderful session today. There's so many points. I was actually trying to note down, but in between I had something else come up, so I could not. I had to hear once again. So mainly the past time what you told about Lord Chaitanya watching the movie of Dedev, it was amazing. So which Maharaj has told this past time, Prabhu? I could not.
His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj.
Who?
Actually, Haldar Swami Maharaj, he belongs to that place.
Okay, so he is from Puri. Maharaj is from Puri.
He is now he is in one temple, Patamundi, but he belongs to that place originally.
Okay. Very nice, bro. So it was amazing and mind-boggling pastime. It is not heard before. Thank you very much, bro. So, any questions from devotees? Meanwhile, our VP Govinda Prabhu will be taking over in a minute. So, meanwhile, if someone has questions, he can start asking Prabhu. Yeah, Radhesham Prabhu is saying, yeah, we can't understand Lord mind, but you made us to understand. Thank you very much. So that is that is mercy of pure devotees.
Superb, full with the slokas and wonderful, Prabhuji. Hari Bol, salute to you, Hari Bol.
Hari Hari. So Prabhu is known for his sloka recitation also in a typical accent, which only a typical the Bengalis or Oriyas they can do because they also carry that mood. Not only that reciting the accent, but they carry the mood of. So that comes along with it. Very nice, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. All your mercy, Prabhu.
Hari Hari. So any questions from devotees? Meanwhile, VP Govinda Prabhu will be ready.
Hare Krishna, Abhi Govinda, Krishna Das Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, Dayanand Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Last question.
Krishna Das Prabhu, you mentioned that shadow regarding that our relationship is compared with the shadows. Like in the morning it will be long and then in the afternoon it is small. So I just want to understand then, and the evening again it will become long in the opposite direction. So how we can understand that in full, like?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually in the noon time, so I compared when the devotee or the guru, they comes to in our life, so initially they will chastise us, so that means the shadow is less, but when we gradually progress in bhakti, then that shadow becomes more like towards evening. So that comparison is one part. The other comparison, like in this material world relationship, that comparison I compared from morning to the noon time. So gradually it becomes less and less.
Haribol, got it, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam Prabhu. I just had one practical question. That is like Prabhu, due to the hospitality sector that we belong to, like I practice because my mom and dad are here, and it's easier for me to practice Krishna consciousness in the more easy manner. For others it's a bit difficult. So some of my friends are here, Prabhu, who are into hospitality sector. They are into making food, like chef and all, who are bound to taste the food, Prabhu. So there are a bit they are doing chanting and all, but they are a bit confused when it comes to food tasting. They can't also tell that we don't want to taste the food, or for example it might contain non-veg or kind of onion garlic. So but they are very devoted, Prabhu. So what is the solution to that? How to come out of that, Prabhu? Any ideas if you can just throw light upon?
I think question over to Ramananda Prabhu, he can answer. You are also senior devotee. What I can say to you, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, when this question was asked to our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Japadak Maharaj, once he was saying the devotees should try to change if they are really serious enough for their Krishna consciousness and serious enough for their spiritual advancement. They should try to change their jobs. Even Guru Maharaj was saying one really like who wants to take initiation and all this advance in spiritual path, they should be very particular and very careful. Over a period of time, they should plan and change the job, because Guru Maharaj even says that people working in Middle East, they are all engaged in Ugra Karma. So that also Guru Maharaj says slowly as much as possible, we are into like those are working in petroleum industry and all. So he says that they are all Ugra Karma. So it affects their mood and sadhana, spiritual progress in the long run. So they should try to change their jobs. So yeah, it is a practical problem, but there can't be another solution because one hand they continue to chant the holy name of the Lord, and on the other hand they are also doing engaged in I don't say abominable activities, but still they are supporting these activities. So Guru Maharaj says that one should try to change their jobs. This is.
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, actually, the thing is, they are very nice devotees, because I am fortunate to have a company of them being into such fields. Also, they are trying their best. So I'm sure God will also guide them. But Prabhu, we are all trying hard, because we are all suffering in this, the kind of materialistic world that we are all in. So we have some defects and some challenges, Prabhu. But so nice of you, Prabhu. We are all trying and we'll take it to the next level. We're also finding jobs. If we're getting somewhere else, it will be better for us. Thank you so much. Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this is Radhapati Krishnadasya.
Yes,
If
Prabhu.
Ramananda Prabhu allows, I just can add a little bit.
Yeah, Prabhu, please.
Yeah, Prabhu. So I spoke to, I think I spoke to Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj or Narasimha Maharaj. Asked the same question. He said, you must be part of the 6 person who are responsible for in the process of doing abominable act, right? So I said, I'm an accountant. I was working in a hotel, right? I'm in the catering industry. He said, you are not the decision maker, right? Those who are purchasing manager also, if it's not decision maker, then he said you are not responsible. You must be in the 6 person makes a decision to buy, person who cooks it, right? Cooking cannot, buying decision maker cannot. So like that, the 6 parties make a decision in the abominable act that you should not do that kind of work. But if you are in finance, if you are in procurement, you are not responsible making a decision, then he said you are not responsible. That's what Maharaj told.
So here the person was tasting.
Cannot. You cannot taste. Tasting means you're consuming.
Yeah.
Six party. You know the 6 person who was mentioned in Prabhupada mentioning 6 people are responsible for animal killing. So if you're one of the 6, you cannot. That means the decision maker who wants to kill the animal, person who sells it, and all these 6 parties. If you are in that 6, you have to assess your job and see whether you are in the 6 party.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Thank
you, Hare Krishna. So I request now VP Govinda Prabhu to take over from here for the rest of the session. VP Govinda Prabhu, you are ready now.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. And Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to everyone, especially to Veer Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a melodious session full of pastimes. And before I go any further, Shankarshan Prabhuji has a question, I think. Prabhuji got a virtual hand raised. Prabhuji, please ask some question.
Thanks, Prabhuji, for allowing me to ask question. Prabhuji, this is a more like a practical question. I mean, as you said, and it is a very fact that Caitanya Caritamrta is difficult and difficult to read.
Can we see your lotus face, Prabhu?
Lotus face, Prabhuji. It's really, Prabhuji, I don't know this background my daughter has made. I was not aware, but anyhow, this practical question, Prabhuji, when I mean difficult to read the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because the depth of devotion we simply can't. I mean, even if we are on the surface area, then also we release that nectar. Thanks, Prabhuji. Today, being Dwadasi, you have served the feast for our ears. My question is, Prabhuji, due to some deficiency in our consciousness, our consciousness is not pure. So, so sometimes we like some topic, some aspect of scriptures, and some topics we don't like. I mean, we don't dislike because it is connected to Krishna. It is related to Krishna Tattva. So we don't dislike, but we don't like as the topic of maybe some lila or some aspect. For example, Chaitanya Prabhu's nectarian leelas and his exchanges with devotees is more nectarian than some aspects. I will not name those aspects, but this kind of liking and disliking puts us sometime in trouble, that we are not justifying, we are not reciprocating what Krishna wants or what has been conveyed through scriptures. So how to overcome this deficiency, Prabhu, or this liking, disliking is really we should come out from this mentality. I not disliking, but little less. We don't much to meditate on those aspects which we don't like much. We don't hate, but we don't like to, So please, can you throw some lights on this, or if some Maharajas has referred this, or in scriptures has referred on this aspect, Prabhu? Liking and giving preference to some aspect and giving less preference to some aspect. We are not thorough. We are not releasing throughout consistently in all aspects. So that is what I see some diversion or some deficiency, some lacking in understanding. So can you please highlight on this?
Prabhu, first of all, I am a not a senior devotee, just neophyte devotee. For my understanding, I am telling. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord has told, He is the knowledge, He is the object of the knowledge, He is the end of knowledge. So to understand any particular test, to release the test, and to understand the Lord, so only by mercy of the Lord we can get we can understand and get that releasement. And for that, if we do the Bhagavad Seva, so through that only Lord becomes happy. Then we get the real tests. That is my understanding, Prabhu. Furthermore, senior devotees and Ramananda Prabhu can add.
Nothing much to add from my side. If others have something to add, open to all the devotees. Or else we will move on to next question.
Yeah, fine, Prabhu. That's give me some hint that we should anchor for the mercy. That let me not be disliking or little less interest in taking interest on some of the aspect. It is all nectarian. Wherever we dip, there we'll find. It is our problem that we don't want to get into some of the aspects. Thanks, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sankarshan Prabhuji. I can say you are not alone. We all are in the same boat. So don't you worry. And Prabhuji, we get the link, being here in London, we get the link for Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is giving darshan almost every day. And at the end of it, then we have the chance to ask questions directly from Guru Maharaj. So I can share that link with you. It's on Zoom, as always. And feel free to get connected, maybe right at the end for question and answers, and feel free to ask directly from Guru Maharaj. Most of the time, Guru Maharaj answer all the questions there in the chat, and Mahavara Prabhuji is there who takes care of it. So maybe that's the way forward. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that question. So Prabhuji, I was making few notes while I was listening, and I would request, I was intrigued to know very first time when you mentioned about Ashtavakra and Bandi and Khud. This is from Upanishad, and being in Krishna consciousness, we don't refer to Upanishads a lot. However, personally, I love Upanishads because they are much higher philosophy compared to any other shastras we have in the world, if I say. So I was very intrigued when you mentioned it. But now my question is, right at the end, your conclusion, if I will be blunt and honest, I would say that I was upset by that conclusion, where you concluded that Bandi was representing Gyani, and that's why he was full of false ego. I might be using different words. I'm paraphrasing here. And obviously, Ashtavakra being a devotee, transcendental knowledge overpower Gyani. And that's how it happened, because he obviously, as you said correctly, that he forgave the Bandi, even though Bandi made his father go in the water, or what we call Jal Samadhi. But Prabhuji, that story is not complete, because right at the end, Ashtavakra asked Bandi that, why did you do it? So he said, I don't want you to take Jal Samadhi, because as per the rule, whoever would lose in debate would go and take Jal Samadhi. But then Ashtavakra said, I don't want you to go for it. I want two things. First, he said to King Janak, whose kingdom it was, he said, I want to abolish this ritual from now. So nobody will take Jal Samadhi, because his father went to Jal Samadhi. But then second thing was, he asked Bandi, then rather than you taking Jal Samadhi, I would like to ask you that, why did you do it? Because it was not only his father, there were many other saints and sages he used to debate, and anyone who will lose will go and take Jal Samadhi. Prabhuji, would you like to shed any light on what he said? What Bandi replied to?
You are correct, Prabhu. The conversation and Bandi wanted to end this Jala Samadhi, but I just described this related to this verse. So that is why I did not elaborately told that story completely. Even I heard this from the lecture from some Maharaj. So that is why whatever I recollected, I presented here. Prabhu. So even details, other details, I don't have also. Prabhu. Sorry.
Okay. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Really appreciate your honesty. And what I would like to say, one of our dear god brother is Kal Chakra Prabhuji. And he used the word, and this is not offensing anything, it applies to all of us, that a lot of time we parroting and without understanding. And Prabhuji, this is exactly what happens a lot of time, because even if I will say Maharaji use this, well, I will say that this is actually the wrong misinterpretation. Reason being, what happens in that story is what we use in Krishna consciousness lot of time. And another god brother, and usually Prabhuji joins. I can check now whether Prabhuji is here or not. Neeraj Dakshi Govinda Prabhuji. Prabhuji gave me a mool mantra in Krishna consciousness, because I always been asking questions and I used to go to his house. I was so blessed. And Prabhuji gave me a mool mantra that Prabhuji, don't try to understand the mood behind it. So like why Srila Prabhupada said that, why somebody did it, try to understand mood of the devotee behind it. So in this story, the whole thing is try to understand the mood, why Bandi used to do it. Bandi was the son of Varuna, demigod. And all those who took Jal Samadhi went to Varuna's dham, like in heaven, to do the yagna. And after a certain time, Bandi said that including your father, everybody will come back, and they all came back. Ashtavakra's father came back. And Ashtavakra Gita is one of the profound literature in Upanishad. Then the other thing was, Prabhuji, now again we can keep pondering over it, but as you already mentioned that we don't need to go into details, I wouldn't. But one thing I will say, Ashtavakra and Ashtavakra Gita is a classic example of Advait. So it's like the example of Shripad Adi Shankaracharya ji. So if somebody will take the example of Shripad Adi Shankaracharya ji, then, and I did it myself, and I think Ramananda Kanai Prabhuji was the one who said that we don't want to, and I did another one as well, somebody else, and Prabhuji said we don't want to use the reference from another sampradaya, but still we'll do a lot from other sampradayas, as long as they fit the bill, which means as long as they support our argument. I think it's just the most misinterpretation we do all the time in Krishna consciousness. And so, sorry, Veer Krishna Prabhuji, I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying in general in Krishna consciousness, like I always say, if I will get the chance to meet Srila Prabhupada, the one thing I will say, Prabhuji, I didn't know anything about Mayavadi. More I read books from you, I read Mayavadi scriptures, what Mayavadis do. And even here, obviously, the first half of the lecture, I think it was all about Mayavadis. So I don't know why we got to do it. But again, I think, Prabhuji, you just follow the format we have, because any scripture we read, either Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Caitanya Charitamrta, we have so much of Mayavadi, obviously criticizing it. Now, one thing I understand, we always say, and that's one of my issues here in Krishna consciousness, that I ask this question, that we have three aspects, and I think everybody agrees with that. The first one is Brahman realization, the second is Paramatma, and the third is Bhagwan realization. Now we all try to jump to Bhagwan realization, skipping Brahman and Paramatma. Now let's leave Brahman. I think Brahman itself is so great that even if you will realize Brahman, then Shankarshan Prabhuji's question will not come into picture, even if we are Brahman realized, because Brahma realization itself is like the realization within the body. We don't need to leave the body and go anywhere. Like we say, the essence of Krishna consciousness is Krishna Prema. Now, for Krishna Prema, we don't need to leave anything. Braj Gopis, they didn't leave anything. Now, so sorry. It's more of the comment rather than the question. But I think I did ask the question because I didn't get the reply for that. Then that's why I moved on to the next one. But that reminds me that I think a devotee, disciple of Prabhupada asked him that he was reading a lecture where somebody wrote against ISKCON, and Prabhupada said this is a very good article, and devotees, disciples of Prabhupada said, what? This is all criticizing. And Prabhupada said, check how many times Krishna is mentioned in it. How many times Krishna is mentioned in it. Now, this is what I think, and when I hear the lectures, when I think, well, how many times Mayavadis are mentioned, even though criticizing, but how many times Krishna is mentioned compared to Mayavadis? If somehow we could concentrate and focus more on Krishna rather than Mayavadis, this is what I think myself personally. I think whatever the ultimate aim we are aiming for, we might get that to quicker, because certainly there is nobody here who is Mayavadi, right? However, in one terms, I think we all are Mayavadis, because I don't think anybody is. Oh well, I can say for myself that it's very easy to offend devotees these days. This is another, somebody, Maharaji said it, that at those time you can say to your god brothers anything you like, because they are your god brothers. Like you fight in your family, you can fight with other devotees. And so by these days it's very easy. One of the Maharaji said that in one of his lecture. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So that was the question and that was the comment based on it. Now again, I don't think anything is going to get resolved overnight, but certainly this is my reflection, been in Krishna consciousness for the short time I have. I have another question, but before I will move on to that, I will just leave the space for anyone else would like to reflect anything I have said, and feel free to criticize me. I'm the part of the family, so feel free to criticize me for anything I have just said. Please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks for your usual very open and transparent comments and questions. One point I would like to say, Prabhu, the very purpose of this forum is not to criticize any sampradayas, including Mayavadi philosophy. So we are not here, we are not qualified, we are not competent enough to, actually we don't need to. And as per my understanding, none of us are really engaged in the criticizing of Mayavadi philosophy. So what I noticed was when the particular topic, the purport or a translation or even the verse talks about that, so maybe we are covering that aspect, but the whole purpose is to understand the supremacy of the absolute truth, the Bhagavan realization. And it doesn't mean that we are undermining or underestimating other two aspects, because as you said, they are part of the overall understanding of absolute truth, but it is in different steps. And it has been always your unresolved question. Hopefully the time will come, the day will come, someone will be able to clarify that issue, that whether in the journey towards understanding the absolute truth, Bhagavan realization, is it necessary, or is it whether Brahman and Paramatma relations had to be understood? This is a frequent question what I hear from you. Though hopefully the soon I think that point will be clarified. But my only point I'm trying to add is that we are not trying to be offensive, or we are not even trying to discuss more about Mayavadi, as you said, Prabhupada was very happy when somebody is criticizing or activities, saying he mentioned Krishna so many times. So we also mentioning like in the particular word of Mayavada during our session. It doesn't mean that we are meditating on that. So when that point comes to clarify, because fortunately or unfortunately, the topic what is going on is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a discussion with interaction with the Mayavadis. So we can't avoid the topic and jump over to the next, and the topic had to be discussed. And with all due respects to impersonalists, there is no offense, and we are not qualified. Though Prabhupada always uses very strong words, but we are trying to understand. That's all. In the process, if someone are becoming more excited with what Srila Prabhupada has told, so that is to be avoided. So let us be cautious. Our whole purpose should be to understand and not to meditate upon Mayavadi philosophy. Understand the supremacy of absolute truth, Bhagavan realization. At the same time, not to meditate too much on Mayavadi philosophy. So this is my point which I wanted to add. I think Sankarshan Prabhu has something else you want to add,
Yeah.
or
Prabhu, just wanted to put humble comment on Prabhu's statement that my question would have not raised if I would have not realized Brahman. In fact, I have not realized anything. Just I see the mercy, hankering for the devotee's mercy. Only thing, one point, let me clarify that why I have some disinterest on listening some aspect. When I have understood that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, so literally Mayavadi talk comes, it hits my mind, which I doesn't like to discuss and listen. Anyhow, since Prabhu Ramananda Prabhu has nicely mentioned that since it is a topic of our subject, so we have to just pass it on to this, reinstate the principle of Bhagwan, and that's why, I mean, we are just floating and go ahead. We don't get into this topic. And
yeah,
second point, you mentioned that Radharani was, gopis were liking everything. No, gopis have never accepted Krishna as a four-ended form. I mean, they never accepted. So they also had liking and disliking. I mean, we are not elevated to that position.
they are not accepted Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. Rather, they
Correct.
don't understand.
Correct,
So
correct, Prabhuji.
yeah,
So there is a, there is a, I mean, so they will definitely not accept the Brahman aspect and Paramatma aspect. I mean, gopis. So anyhow, Prabhu, good that this only was my disliking aspect. That okay, it's a part of our subject, so we should study that. Which we not really says the other leelas and other things are there. So anyhow, fine, Prabhu. That's why, I mean, 2 point Prabhu has just highlighted in his answer. So I thought, I think he has misunderstood my question, or I think he's overstressing the aspect which has been uh, openly refuted by Srila Prabhupada. And no need to ask Prabhupada that why you ask Mayavadi, because it is not applicable to us, so let it go. But
yeah,
it is very much applicable to the people of eastern part, Bangla, I mean, West Bengal side and some part of India, other parts of India. So it may be very much applicable there. So we need not to educate ourselves if we have if we have already. I mean, we don't go for the table 18 nines are what. If you are doing big formulas and big research, the computer, that calculator is there right in front. So we need not to go again and mug up all the formulas of 18 nines and 17 nines and 17 sevens. If we know, then it's okay. But the higher purpose, if you think, I mean, we are discussing, then let it go. But principle should be intact. If keep
yeah,
doubting, so it may not, good to
yeah, bro. So
listening.
the essence, what I understood from your point is that the principle, as long as we understand and agree on the principle that the Bhagavan aspect of absolute understanding absolute truth is the supreme, and others are part of that. So we don't have to really worry. I think every one of us, we know, we understand, we agree to that aspect. There is no debate on that. The only thing is, Prabhu's concern always that we are focusing more on that aspect. For that, I try to clarify. I'm not sure whether I could do justice to Prabhu's point. My only point says that we are not here to meditate on that aspect. We are not here to blaspheme anybody. So the point here is only that we are trying to discuss the philosophy as it comes. So we are talking from Srila Prabhupada's translation purport and some of the Maharaj lectures or whatever relevant to this, and more clearly we will understand in the next week's seminar, understanding absolute truth. We are not going to leave this topic. So VP Govinda Prabhu will continue our this wonderful discussion even next week also. I'm sure the topic will come up again. We'll try to discuss in depth with all due respects to Mayavadi philosophy. As I said, they are part of Brahman. Understanding Brahman is part of the overall understanding. So we'll continue to discuss next week, Prabhu. I'm going to try to focus more deeper into that, so we can discuss further. Parikshit Prabhu, you have something to ask, say?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. This topic, what we are discussing, I just want to highlight 2 points. Importantly, as we are into this material world, we are not into the Golok Vrindavan. So in the material world, what is the material world as we understand? Like take the example of a house. When we go and see the house to purchase, in the house, there are good things also and there are bad things also. So house is complete when there are bad things. Bad thing means there is an abominable place that is called a toilet. So do you think that house is complete without toilet? No, it is not complete. The same way, this material world is not complete unless and until we understand all the aspects. If we are in Golok Vrindavan, Mayavadi philosophy will not be there because it is the absolute truth. But since we are staying into this material world, there will be sin and there will be punya. Okay. So, whereas Prabhupada is specifically discussing about this philosophy, as well as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and our acharyas, as well as in the lectures also, the point is coming forward. The only reason is Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. They wanted us, Jare Dekho Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh. So when you are preaching this movement, at that time, you do not know who will be the listener. So at that time, if your philosophy is not clear, then a lot of questions you will not be able to answer. So that is the only reason where Prabhupada is stressing about this. And of course, we must understand that we are staying in this material world where there will be such kind of topics also will come, then only this material world is complete. Otherwise, if there is only Krishna consciousness, then whole world is Krishna consciousness. Then there is no need to discuss all these things. So this is what my realization is.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for that. So we'll understand further on this topic next week, our session. If there are no more questions, comments, so we'll stop here and we'll continue next week. Next week will be the session which I'm trying to take. Yeah, VP Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry. So very first thing, Prabhuji, thank you, Paresh Prabhuji, and thank you, Sankrishan Prabhuji. I didn't mean personally you, but everyone in general. But let's put that aside. Prabhuji, I do have a question on from B. Krishna Prabhuji on the 6 opulences Prabhuji mentioned. One is more famous. So how do we justify, understand that Krishna is most famous?
Veer Krishna Prabhu, would like to?
Yes, Prabhu. More famous means when Krishna was there, he was doing lila in this material world. So, so no one was more famous than him at that time. So even Ramchandra, Lord Ramchandra, when he was there, he's famous still. Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, still people are glorifying. So material world, in this material world, people may achieve something, may get Nobel Prize. So it is temporary, maybe 100 years, 200 years, or maximum say some 1,000 years people will describe. But after that they will forget. Only the Krishna, since time memorial, so the Anantadev is glorifying in his Ananta mouth, unlimited mouth. Still, he is not able to end. So that is why his glorification, his fame, so cannot be compared with anyone, even demigods or in this any in this material world, any people who has achieved the highest thing. That is my understanding, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So maybe I understand the way that his qualities are so many that it will never end, and that's why Krishna Anand said that, which is very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Then we pranam. I thought it's a good idea to finish on Krishna rather than on Mayavadi.
Brahman.
Thank
you,
you,
Prabhu. Thank you very much, Upi Govinda Prabhu, for your very lively and interactive questions. Really enjoy, and it's helping all of us. I'm very transparent to say, very open to say that your questions are really helping us to understand even more. As always say that we are not perfect, so we are always trying to improve. We are not perfect, that's why we are in this material world. So at least let us try to become perfect, and as we continue to practice our sadhana. So thank you very much, Prabhu, for helping us to do so. So we'll continue next week on the same topic. The topic which the covering the verses for 141 to 146 is again on the absolute truth. So we will try to have more interactive seminar next week. So thank you very much once again. Hare Krishna. And one point I forgot to say that trying to organize a session with Her Grace Nita Sivani Mataji. So very soon I'm in discussion with Mataji. So Nita Sivani Mataji, everyone knows she is a great preacher from Vizag Temple. So Mataji is checking for the dates. So probably somewhere in the new year, early one of the weeks, we'll have the session with Nita Sivani Mataji. So thank you very much. With this, we'll end the session. And Ratana.
Vancha kalpadari kripa sindhu Krishna ki jai.
Haribol.